Now I will introduce you to the tools and the materials I used. I always say this, but I'm saying it again. I think the most important tools and materials you can have in watercolor is the paper. I think that's the number one. Paper should be good. Everything else can be student grade or whatever you can afford, but paper need to be good. So I used Arch paper for this tutorial. It was the same paper as you can see on the screen. So it was a block, cold press, 140 lb, but 14 by 20 inches. And I'm really happy with that paper. All the time I'm using it. So I am suggesting this if you can afford. And I'm suggesting few more, but I'm not sure they are cheaper, unfortunately, but maybe somewhat cheaper. So my other favorite is Langton Prestige. They also have the same block, same size, 14 by 20 cold press. Kilimanjaro, I don't know they have a block or not, I only have sheets. It's pretty decent. I think it's cheaper than Arch, but unfortunately here maybe the thicker is better. From Arch I like the 140 more than a 300, but with Kilimanjaro I think the thicker is better. It's just not waving as much. The next paper is Stonehenge cold press. This paper has issues, but I did landscapes on it and it was really great. So I think it's worth to try, and I still think this is a little bit cheaper than Arch or the other, and it has blocks. After, you need several big water ball, at least 2, maybe more. And I suggest white or transparent just to make sure you see when your water is getting dirty. And it's good to change it all the time, because dirty water, dirty paint or dirty brushes really affect the quality of the watercolor painting. Regarding brushes, I now use 3 types of brushes. I think all of them good. From Princeton, I would suggest from Princeton I have 2 types, the Princeton Neptune and Aqua Elite, and I use the silver black velvet also, what you can see on the screen. With this painting I used a flat wash brush, 3/4 inches. I check exactly which one was it. I think it was the silver black velvet, if I remember correctly, but honestly with these 3 brushes I never had issue. So any of them you will need, if you don't have the flat round oval wash 3/4 inches, just use the round approximately size 20 or from the quill size 8ish, and I used one round around size 8. I think, I don't know which brand I was using from the 3. I am happy with all of them. So don't worry, if you have any kind of watercolor brush, you will be fine. I think what is important to have one bigger and one smaller, like size 8 for smaller and around size 20 if you have a round for bigger ones. Regarding paint, I really don't want to suggest you to buy new watercolor paint if you have a set, or if you have some tubes or something you like, because any set would work here if it has more than 6 colors, I would say. But if you wanna buy watercolor, one of my favorite is Daniel Smith, and they have this dot card, and it's pretty cheap, and it has all the 200 whatever color they sell, and you can test every color, and you can choose after testing all of them in theory. So you can build up your tube set with this dot card. So I really suggest this. It's absolutely amazing, even just to see the variety of the colors. And I want to emphasize, these are not just colors. It's also texture, or how transparent is a paint, or if it's granulating or not. You will see all these properties, or how much it's riveting when after it's dried. So I'm very happy with Daniel Smith all the time, and this dot card is a perfect solution for looking into. But any other paint set or artist quality paint absolutely would work here. And here I'm just showing my 48 color Sennelier. I'm not happy too much with the colors in this set, but it has so many in it, so it definitely works. But any watercolor paint set, so don't worry about the brand. If it's a good quality watercolor, you will be fine. And this is completely new. In this painting, I used this Neocolor wax crayon. Just be careful, because this brand has Neocolor 1 and 2, and one of them is wax, so not water soluble. But the other one, the 2, I think it's water soluble. So I'm using the wax crayon here, and this is in theory replacing the masking fluid. And it's just really cool, because the thin lines you can draw with it, and the paint won't stain the paper there. So it's worked very similarly for the masking fluid, but you don't need to remove it and stuff on the end. So I just use very few colors, honestly, probably 3-4. If you can afford, it's good to buy a little set from it, like 6 or 8 or whatever they have this for the smallest. But if you like the idea, you can buy a little bit bigger, but I only have something very much in the middle range, like 15 color or so. So it's very useful. I like it very much. It's a very good thing to play with it if you can afford it. If not, just use your masking fluid, where I use the crayon, and on the end just stain it with a light color watercolor. But it worked out really well for this tutorial. And I honestly think, other than that, you only will need some wipes, which in my case it's always the Kim wipe, but you can use any kind of paper wipe, like kitchen towel is the best. Probably no toilet paper or tissue paper, because you don't want to use something which fall apart from wetness, and toilet paper and tissue paper is just sticking to your wet watercolor paper. So after that, we will just start to work in the next section. See you there.